Yo, what's good? I'm back for another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be talking about my 2022 movie list. So every movie that I saw in theaters in 2022 and my ranking for those movies, I will be talking about them right now. Now, I made a video a couple days ago talking about the movies, my 2011 through 2019 movie list. But those didn't have rankings because I wasn't a movie fan back then, and those are just the movies that I happen to have seen between those years. But this was the first year that I actually started going to the movies consistently, and this was the start of it becoming a hobby of mine and just something that I fell in love with. So this is my humble beginnings, of my first official movie list. So how I have it set up is I have the ranking, but I also have a bonus movie. Now, the bonus movie can either be a movie that I didn't get to see in theaters but saw when it came to streaming, or a movie that went straight to streaming that I just really liked and put it as a bonus movie. So the bonuses most of the time aren't movies that came out in theaters, but this is probably the only exception, because my bonus for 2022 is Scream 5 or Scream 2022, because I didn't actually get to see Scream 5 in theaters, unfortunately. The reasoning being is you needed to be vaccinated because it was like COVID time, so it was like you need to be vaccinated and you need to have to show proof of vaccination. Unless you can't go to movie theaters, you can't go to restaurants, you can't really do anything unless you have proof of vaccination. I didn't have that because I didn't get vaccinated, so I couldn't see it in theaters, which was very unfortunate. But if I did, it probably would have been at the number one spot, to be honest with you, because obviously Scream is my favorite horror movie franchise. I love it to death. I'm still excited for Scream 7, regardless of all the controversy, all that shit. I'm still very excited for Scream 7. And Scream 5 it's incredible. The characters, the story. By the way, Mikey Madison, who plays Amber Freeman, one of the Ghostfaces in Scream 5, she recently just won an Oscar. So she was the first Ghostface to ever win an Oscar. So that's big, and it just goes to show that, the people doing whoever casted, the cast for Scream 5, Scream 6, they had some stars in the making, because we might not have known about them really back then, but now, they're mainstream. Mikey Madison, Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, all became super huge. They blew up literally right before or right after Scream 5 released. So yeah, Scream 5 is a masterpiece. I love it. It's my second favorite Scream movie, and it's incredible. All right, now moving on to the actual rankings. So coming in at, I saw 15 movies in 2022. Coming in at dead last, my number 15 spot is The Invitation. Now, this movie is a vampire movie. It's about this girl. She goes off to some distant second cousin type relative's house, and they're vampires, and she's forced to marry this guy, but she ends up not marrying him and kills people, and I think she turns into a vampire by the end. I don't know, this movie's fucking stupid. The only reason I saw it was because it was on a day where the movies were $3, so it's you got to see a movie for $3. So that's the only reason I saw this movie. And there's another movie that I got to see with that $3 deal that I will be talking about later on in this movie list. But yeah, The Invitation was not it. Ignore the barking, please. Coming in at number 14, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, I wasn't gonna see this movie either, but my homie was like, "Oh, bro, come on, I'll get you a ticket. Let's go see it." So that's the only reason I saw Sonic 2. But I'm very glad that I saw Sonic 2, because I willingly went to see Sonic 3 last year, and that was great. So even though I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic 2, I thought it was a little goofy at times, like the whole side plot with the main girl's sister being involved with one of the guys from Criminal Minds. I just thought that shit was that was too much. I did not care for those characters at all. But in terms of Knuckles and, you know, the action, that was beautiful. And Tails, all that was fire. But I just wish they would have just leaned back a little bit on the comedy with this movie specifically, because if they did, it would have been much better. But, you know, I think this franchise, like the Sonic movies, they're getting better, movie by movie, they're getting better. But what I will say is, and I will die on this hill, bro. I think these movies should have been PG-13. I think these movies would have been better if they were PG-13, because you have more range to do more. You know, you can be more serious, like early MCU type of thing. You know, like imagine Infinity War or Endgame being PG. You know what I'm saying? So I just think these movies would have been much better if they were PG-13, but that's just my opinion. But unfortunately, they're all PG, so, you know, there's that. The only franchise that I think pulls it off is the Spider-Verse movies, because those are perfect, you know. But besides that, I think most movies, like, should be PG-13. Like, the action movies and the movies that's trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, the big IPs. So yeah. Coming in at number 13, we have Nope. Jordan Peele's third film, Nope. Now, I didn't see Get Out or Us in theaters, obviously, but I did see Nope. And it's an acquired taste. I thought it was fine. I thought that the UFO being the actual alien was a nice little twist. The whole subplot with the monkey was a little confusing, but the performances were cool. I enjoyed that blonde-haired guy and Daniel Kaluuya. Daniel Kaluuya. I don't know why I had trouble saying that. He was great. You know, obviously he was in Get Out. But this movie, it was hyped up a little too much, you know, after Us and Get Out, and it just fell flat for me, you know. It fell flat. Next up, number 12, we have Smile. Now, last year I saw Smile 2, and I'll be talking about that in the 2024 movie list, but Smile 1. I saw this, oh, by the way, most of these movies I saw with my mom, like The Invitation, Nope, and this movie Smile I saw with my mom. Smile was cool. I enjoyed it. It had a lot of jump scares. The lead was good. The ending was good. And yeah, there's not, you know, I didn't think this would become a franchise, and I didn't think that this would blow up the way that it did. But I'm glad that I went out of my way to, most of these movies on this movie list, they're getting sequels or they're getting some type of continuation. So even though I didn't see a lot of movies in 2022, I saw the important ones. You feel me? So yeah, Smile was a good time, good fun time. And you know, Smile 3 is apparently in the works, so we're just gonna have to wait and see for that. But yeah, Smile 1, it was it felt like it dragged a little bit towards the end, I'm not gonna lie, but besides that, it was cool. Coming in at number 11, we have Barbarian. Now this movie, it's a mixed bag. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally really enjoyed it, mainly because I went into the movie not knowing a single thing, because they didn't spoil anything in the trailers, which is, it's a breath of fresh air when movies don't just give all the good parts away in their trailer. Barbarian is one of those special ones that doesn't. So going into this movie, I had no idea what to expect, and you know, this movie keeps you guessing, you know, and the way it's structured in a very interesting way. And whether you love it or hate it, I would say either you should give it a chance. You should give it a watch, and go in knowing nothing. It takes place in Detroit, Michigan, I think. So, for all the Detroit people, there's that. And overall, this movie was a fun time. I think Barbarian is genuinely a good movie, and I go back to it every now and again to watch it. The lead actress is phenomenal. Pennywise is fun. Justin Long is great. All-star performances, for real, for real. All right, coming in at number 10. Now, the only reason this is so high... One second. I have returned. But yeah, the only reason this movie is so high is just because this is like a big deal. Coming in at number 10, we have Halloween Ends. Now, I saw this in Dolby Cinema. This was the first movie that I ever saw in Dolby Cinema, so this was a big deal. And this is also the first Halloween movie that I got to witness on the big screen. So that's also a big deal, even though that this one is probably it's ass. But, it still counts, bro. I don't care. It still counts. You feel me? And in a few years, we're going to have another Halloween movie that I'll probably check out, even though I think they're milking the shit out of this franchise. Niggas love seeing Michael body niggas, so it's always going to come back, regardless. So, yeah, Halloween Ends. It's essentially Corey Cunningham, the movie, and then old man Michael Myers just existing. You feel me? This movie is it's just dumb, man. It's stupid as shit. But the Dolby Cinema experience, being it the first time I ever been to a Dolby Cinema, it was fun. So there's that. Coming in at number 9, we have Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now, this movie was surprising. I didn't intend on enjoying this movie as much as I did, and I'm really glad I saw it. I ended up seeing it twice, and this was technically the first movie that I saw with my A-list subscription. But I in 2023, the first day of 2023, I believe. But yeah, this movie was great. But I did see it in 2022. I saw it first in 2022 with my homies, and then I saw it again alone, which was the first movie that I ever saw alone. This movie, this was the very first movie I saw alone, because most of the time I go to the movies alone. Like nowadays I go to the movies alone, and I love it. I think going to the movies alone is such a power move, because think about it, you don't have to worry about nothing but yourself. So it's like, and I'm not the type of person to get like food or anything, so I literally just go to the theater, go sit down, watch the movie, and then get up and leave. Like, I don't have to worry about nobody but myself. I'm always in my own little zone, and I leave when I want to leave. I stay as long as I want to stay there. When you go to the movies with your friends or your parents, it's like, it's like so much more than it has to be. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that going with people is a bad thing. I enjoy going to the movies with my mom. It's always a pleasure. But my go-to is going alone, because it's the prime movie going experience, just going alone. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, to all my solo moviegoers, you understand. So yeah, Puss in Boots was the first movie that I ever saw alone. At first, it was very scary, very awkward. I was looking around thinking, damn, these niggas probably think I'm a loser because I'm sitting here alone and I see these people huddled up, these friend groups. But over time, I realized that it doesn't fucking matter, dude. It does not matter, bro. Like, now I go to the movies alone with the utmost confidence and the utmost not giving a shit look on my face, because I don't, it's and I feel like this goes with anything and everything. Soon I'm gonna start going to restaurants alone, because I feel like that's something that people aren't used to, going to restaurants alone. But I feel like I'm gonna start doing that, because if I can go to the movie theater alone, I can go to a restaurant alone. And if I can do that alone, shit, I can do everything alone. You know what I'm saying? But it gets to a point, you don't want to isolate yourself too much. Human interaction is a necessity. But I enjoy going to the movies by myself. But it would be nice having someone there, to chat it up with, even though I'm very locked in when I'm watching a movie, but it's fine. But yeah, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It was fun. I enjoyed it. The animation was beautiful, and it had good messages about mortality, and all that. So that was great. Number 8, we have The Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman. You feel me? Now, this was actually the first movie that I saw in 2022 since my hiatus from 2019. So this was also a very big deal for me. This movie was... Jesus. My damn... 1 second. Sorry. My shoelace. I apologize. This movie was fun. It was fun. It was very long, but I enjoyed it. And I saw it with my mom. So there's that. It was a good movie. Coming in at number 7, we have Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Now, this was my first ever live Q&A. Maria Bakalova and Myhala and the director. Wait, was the director there? I think. I'm not sure. But those 2 actresses was there. And it was such a crazy, surreal experience, seeing the actresses in real life, right after seeing them in the movie. It really, it joggles your brain, you feel me? Because that's so surreal. But now, since then I've been to a good amount of Q&As, not a crazy amount, but, a handful of Q&As. But it's always such a blast going to a Q&A. It's so much fun, bro. I would recommend it. But Bodies, Bodies, Bodies itself was a fun movie. The cast was great. Rachel Sennett, obviously Maria Bakalova, Myhala, Amanda Seyfried, I think, and Chase Sui. I don't know if I'm saying Sui right. I think it's just Chase Sue Wonders, or I'm just gonna say Chase Wonders. She's gonna be in the upcoming I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, so I'm very excited for that. But yeah, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's a murder mystery, whodunit, but it's with a bunch of like Gen Zers. So yeah. Coming in at number 6, we have The Black Phone, which is getting a sequel that's coming out this October that I will be watching. I don't really know what they're going to do, but I'm excited for it. Now, in terms of the first Black Phone, this was very spontaneous. I remember me and my mom was running errands, and then I'm like, wait a minute, today's Tuesday. They do $5, AMC does $5 Tuesdays. We should, and The Black Phone was out at that time, so I was like, we should go see The Black Phone, why not? And she was like, oh, okay. And then we went to see it, and the rest is history. The Black Phone, it's great. It follows Ethan Hawke. He's a kidnapper. He kidnaps Mason Thames, and there's a black phone that Mason Thames' character talks to dead kids with that the grabber has kidnapped and killed. So there's that. There's like a spiritual element to it. I thought this movie was fun. It was also rated R, so that's great. Nothing was held back. There was a lot of violence. That was cool. And it's getting a sequel, so I'm very excited for that. Great performances from the child actors, and yeah. Coming in at number 5, we have Pearl. Now, this movie, I didn't expect this movie to get as many memes as it did, but yeah, this movie got a lot of memes, and it's great. Everybody knows Pearl. No, I'm a star. Or that scene where she tweaks on the guy that's gonna be playing Superman in this year's James Gunn's Superman. You're like, no, why are you leaving me if I didn't do anything wrong? What happened? I thought you some shit like that. You get me. I thought you liked me. And she just starts tweaking on this nigga, and then she ends up killing him with a pitchfork. So I saw Pearl with my mom, and I remember there being like some like young people around my, or maybe a little bit older, because I was 16 when I saw Pearl. They were sitting a little bit in the front, and they kept giggling and shit, and it was pissing me off. But yeah, Pearl is so... she's like a realistic Harley Quinn, essentially. So yeah, there's that. Uh, and then coming in at number 4, we have X, which came out first. Pearl is the prequel to X, and X was the first horror movie that I saw in theaters in 2022. And in general, the second horror movie that I saw in theaters. X is about follows these porn stars making a porno film at this old couple's house, and it turns out that the old couple is horny and crazy, and they start picking off the crew one by one. This movie was great. You know, Jenna Ortega was in it. Mia Goth. This really blew up Mia Goth. And you know, we had other great performances from the guy from The Ring, the guy that looks like the guy from 2013's Evil Dead, but he's not that guy, and then Brittany Snow, who was in the you know, those movies, the musical movies. I forgot the fucking name, but there was 3 of them. But yeah, X was fun. I remember I remember being a little underwhelmed by it the first time I watched it, because it wasn't really what I thought it would be. But over time, I've grown to like it even more than Pearl. So I think out of the 3, like the trilogy, you know, including Maxine, I think X is still the best one. So there's that. Coming in at number 3, the bronze goes to Jaws. Yes, that Jaws from the 70s. I got to see this movie in IMAX for $3 with my mom and my niece. That was the first time I ever been to an IMAX theater, the one in Lincoln Square. And it's one of the biggest IMAXs in the entire world. So, and getting to see an iconic movie like Jaws on the big screen was incredible. It was amazing. The theater was packed because, you know, it was $3. And overall, it was just such a crazy, surreal experience. So that's why it's at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have One Piece Film Red. I saw this twice, once with my mom and my niece, and the second time with my friends. And I saw the dubbed version, even though I prefer the subbed, but it's fine. Now, One Piece Film Red, it gets a lot of flack because people don't really like how it's like low-key a musical, but I actually really enjoyed the musical elements to it. And overall, I just think it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it more than Stampede, so yeah. But coming in at my number 1 spot is Dragon Ball Superhero. I saw the dub version of this, and I saw it with my friend Bruce. And that was the one and only time me and him went to the theaters together. And yeah, obviously Dragon Ball is my favorite anime, so obviously it's gonna be at the number 1 spot. But you know, overall, I think Superhero was great. You know, we got Beast Gohan, we got Orange Piccolo. You know, the Gammas were fun. You know, Cell Max was mid, but it's fine. And you know, with the resurgence of the Dragon Ball franchise, you know, I'm just glad that I got to see this movie in theaters, as well as Broly. So technically, in terms of the Dragon Ball Super movies, I've seen them all, because there's only Broly and then Superhero. So technically, I'm all caught up. You feel what I'm saying? So there's that. And whatever the next Dragon Ball movie is gonna be, I will be there, seated, and I will be prepared to witness peak. Goku and Vegeta weren't really in this movie, and I feel like the people's main issue with it is the animation, that it's like 3D-ish. But I personally, I didn't mind it. It wasn't anything crazy. And I think the post-credit scene with Vegeta beating Goku was fun. It was fun. So yeah, that was my 24 minutes. Wow. This was my 2022 movie list. The next movie list will be 2023, and yeah, yeah. But when I'm recording this, usually I record the videos and then post it the same day. But now I'm trying to like spread out my videos more, so I haven't even posted the 2011 through 2019 movie list video yet. That video and this video will be posted after the video that I'm gonna make on Friday, which is gonna be the Novocaine movie review. No, Sunday. the Novocaine movie review when I see it on Saturday. You feel me? But yeah. All right. I'm the Hero Light Legend, Tyree Figueroa, signing out. Peace.